But in most respects, we're exactly the same. We depend upon the earth. We're organic creatures. We live and we die. We can only live in certain circumstances, within very narrow conditions, normally. But in one respect, we're very different from the rest of life on earth. And I think it's probably the particular power that's given rise to all the other things that we've come to think of as unique to us. We have powerful imaginations. It's part of our birthright as human beings. Let me say what I mean by imagination. I mean the ability to bring into mind things that aren't present to our senses. In imagination, we can revisit the past. We can reinterpret the past. We can rethink the past. That's really what history is, isn't it? I mean, if history were just a catalogue of past events, there'd be no need for faculties of historians. We'd simply need clerks to keep track of what's been going on. But history is a contest for meaning. It's a contest for the past. But with imagination, we can also enter the consciousness of other people, virtually. We can see it as they see it. We can feel as they feel, or we can attempt to. We can empathize. And imagination seems to me to be the seat of empathy. It's not a coincidence, I think, that leaders, when they want to oppose an enemy, give as their top priority the suppression of empathy for the enemy. It's only when we lose empathy for people that we can do things that are literally unimaginable. But with imagination, we can also anticipate the future. And therefore, as Vince said, quoting Alan, we can help to bring it about. I don't think we can predict the future. Not terribly well. Arthur C. Clarke was actually rather impressive. H.G. Wells was also quite impressive too. But in human affairs, you may be able to predict the course of technology. You may be able to look a little way out. But it's almost impossible to anticipate the cultural consequence of technology. I mean, Arthur C. Clarke was terrific, but he didn't think of Facebook, or Twitter. I'm not sure anybody should have thought of Twitter, really. I rather regret it. But you see, I wrote a book 10 years ago, I published it 10 years ago, called Out of Our Minds, Learning to be Creative. This book, by the way, is terrific. So you'd be foolish not to buy a copy of this book.